Welcome to this episode of the GymInformer podcast. I'm Chris Gilbert, your host for this episode. And today our guest is Adam Cayce, the owner of Arc Fitness in Indianapolis, Indiana, my home state. Proud Hoosier. It was awesome to get back there, get a chance to work. Actually, Adam and I worked out when I was at his gym. So we definitely got in a little bit more than just a slight workout at Adam's gym. I'm excited to talk to you about the gym. It's definitely a cool vibe, definitely a cool space. Before we get to talking about the gym and Adam's take on it and everything like that, let me take a pause and I'll show you the photos that I took when I was at the gym. All right, Adam, I'm excited to talk to you about the gym because it's definitely a cool vibe in there. It was definitely a unique spot. But before we get into that, let's talk about how you became a gym owner. You have a little bit more of a traditional path being an IFBB pro, but obviously not every IFBB pro becomes a gym owner. So what was the moment you decided, I'm gonna open my own gym?
So back when I first started into the gym industry, years back when I was 21 years old, I was working at a gym whose corporate office was in Indiana. This gym was called Cardinal Fitness, and I would work at the front desk and in the kids' room, and I'd always dream about what it would be like to own a gym. And then I got a firsthand taste. I worked my way up for the next 2 to 3 years, and I became the general manager of the gym. And then I realized that I didn't want to own a gym. It was a lot of paperwork and a lot of keeping the employees happy, and a lot of management skills were necessary. And I just wanted to hang out on the floor and talk to people and help as many people as I could. So at that time, I very quickly learned that I didn't want to run a gym. And so I spent years of the next 5 years after I moved on from that, just training clients and building up my brand. And then I hired some personal trainers to work from underneath me and just take some of my client load. And after 5 years, one of the personal trainers that was working for me was the son of the owner of the gym that I was working out of. And he started a personal training business out from underneath me. And I was a little hurt at that time, and I decided to take matters into my own hand. And I started a gym just out of a necessity for me to train my clients. And ever since then, man, it's been no turning back. I've grown up since then. And so I've realized for me to empower and impact more people, I need to learn the things that I didn't want to learn when I was 21. And it's been a fun journey since then. So it's more so out of necessity, but now that I've caught the rhythm, I want to see this grow to the moon.
So how long have you had the gym?
Since 2018. So
okay.
7 years.
So it's a pretty good amount of time, and you got a chance to get it open, get it a little bit established before COVID.
Yeah.
So I feel like everything now is referenced pre-COVID and after COVID, but hopefully one day we'll stop doing that.
It's fair. It's a very traumatic time in our lives.
I want to talk about the equipment variety because you definitely have some unique takes on the equipment in your gym. But before I do, I really want to talk about the vibe in the gym. You had a really cool and unique atmosphere in your gym. It's kind of a mix between I felt anyway, that it was a mix between a downtown loft, kind of upper level bougie with this hardcore badass vibe at the same time. If those two things had a baby, that was your gym.
I appreciate that.
Is that at all what you were going for? Or?
The energy that you put out is what you get back in return. And it turns out that's exactly what I was going for. That's exactly, I do like nice things. I've handpicked and hand selected every single piece in that gym. And through the years of just this is all, my entire life is bodybuilding, is personal training, is helping and empowering individuals of all ages and fitness levels to achieve their health and wellness goals. And so in doing that, my entire adult life, like I've paid attention to different gyms. I've gone to different gyms. I've paid attention to different mentors, other personal trainers, other bodybuilders, and I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I've seen which equipment is awesome. And so, like I said, I've hand selected these pieces of equipment, but more so towards the energy of the gym. Like, I had back to when I first started in the gym space. I was young, and I would just imagine what my gym would be like, how my gym would be different than the gym that I was working at. And I had this image of like people hitting PRs and high-fiving each other and like yelling at each other to get the weight up. And it was just the atmosphere that I had thought was just so uplifting. Like you wanted to go to the gym, like you wanted to hang out with your friends in the community in the gym. And when I first opened the gym in 2018, after a few months of opening, I was training a client. I had my staff there, and a few other members were there in the room, and it wasn't that. Like it wasn't hype. They had their headphones in, the music was low, no one was talking to each other. I was like, this sucks. This is not what I wanted at all. And at that moment, I realized that if I wanted that energy, I needed to be that energy. And so I got up off my ass, I changed the way, I turned the music up, and then I started like making sure that the client knew, the people knew how passionate I was about growth, how passionate I was about doing the hard things, getting up off your ass and accomplishing. So ever since that turning point, the gym has reflected that. And I make sure that every person that comes into the gym is greeted by their first name, is given a high five. If you're within 6 feet of me, you're going to get a fist bump. You're going to get me to look you in the eye and say, hey, I'm grateful that you're here. Way to get after it. I saw you on that last set. That was awesome. Just something that I can make someone else's day just by showing the respect of paying attention.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And that's the difference. Like I always say, there are gym owners and there are business owners who own gyms. And what you just described is exactly the difference. Like you're obviously a gym owner, not a business owner who owns a gym.
Yeah. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I still understand that I need to learn the business side of things, and we can get into that a little bit, but yes, I'm very passionate about what I do, and so I'm mixing a little bit of more of entrepreneurship with my passion for helping others.
Oh, and I think that's necessary when you're talking about a small locally owned gym. Like if your members are going to feed off of you, and if they don't think you care about them, they're not going to stay. They can get that at LA Fitness or the Purple Box or whatever else. Like they can get people who don't care about them anywhere. Coming to a gym like yours, they're coming there and they're going to stay there because they know you care about their progress, and the people around the gym care about their progress. And like, that's what's awesome about gyms like yours.
The tagline that I use to talk to my staff all the time is people come for results, but they stay for community. And so just to emphasize how important it is to foster relationships. And when we look back on life at the end of our years, at the end of time, I don't think we're going to think about the things that we had. We're not going to think, oh, I wish I would have had a bigger house, or I wish I would have had a better car, but we're going to think about the impact that we made and the relationships that we have. So I'm making sure that is the number one. And sure, like I can have a gym where we have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 members, but I would much rather that I don't know any of their names, but I would much rather have 200, 300, 400, 500 members where I know everyone's name and we're all on the same page.
100%.
Get better.
Yeah, I love that. Like, love those kind of gyms, like the cheers of gyms.
Yeah,
for lack of better terms. Everybody knows your name. If we get into the equipment, like you had an interesting take on equipment. You and I discussed this when I was at the gym, but for the sake of anyone who wasn't there, it's for anyone who couldn't tell from the photos, it's a 2-level gym. The upstairs is all selectorized or pin loaded equipment, and all the plate loaded barbell equipment's downstairs. But your upstairs seems like that's really the main focus of the gym. And like you had really good Atlantis equipment and some really like good equipment in that upstairs. And it seems like that's where the majority of the energy was put into. Not that you didn't put energy into the downstairs. I don't want to shortcut the downstairs at all, but it seemed like the real energy of hand selecting equipment was put into the upstairs. And like it seems like that's where the meat and the heart of the gym was. Yeah. And it was all selectorized. So I thought that was an interesting, unique take, because so many bodybuilding gyms that I go to or fitness centers I go to that like where bodybuilders train, it's a ton of like plate loaded equipment, and we all love plate loaded equipment. So it was interesting to see you have a different take.
Yeah. You know, when I started that gym, that main floor was all that we had. And so building off of that, like we then acquired the office and then acquired the room next door that's now the cardio room, and then we acquired the basement, which was expanded into, and we slowly started filling up both of those rooms. But that main room was where we started at. And in training clients, whether we're in a private session or like a semi-private or even like a larger group, it's just so much easier to be able to change a pin instead of changing plates. And in terms of injury and getting everything to move with it within a machine, and we can grow tissue by using machines, if we could stay safe, especially when I'm in a semi-private group, I'm able to look around and be able to like, maybe your shoulders need to come down a little bit, instead of, hey, maybe we need to take off a plate, or you're gonna kill yourself with this bench press.
Right. No, that makes a ton of sense. Yeah. And like, I know some people are worried about like, oh, well, I can't put enough weight on, or I'm going to stack that out. But like, you have this philosophy that of like really exhausting and really going hard without going not that you don't lift heavy, but like the day I was there, like as I mentioned before to Adam, like him and I worked out and we didn't do a ton of sets, but I was sore for 3 days and we weren't lifting a lot of weight. So like he has a great philosophy.
Yeah. It's not about the weight you move, but how you control the weight and how you take it through the ranges of motion. I constantly preaching to my clients and even to my staff and my bodybuilders that bodybuilding is just the ability to contract muscles with tension. We're not weightlifters, we are bodybuilders. And so doing this safely and effectively, taking the muscle through the fullest range of motion, and of both lengthening and shortening and going through the full position is going to be beneficial the most if you control the tempo. And then once you control the tempo, you can control the intensity and build from there.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. So you've had the gym for 7 years. You've obviously done a lot of really cool things. We've talked about some of those things. At this point, is there anything that you wish you were doing better?
Oh man. So that's a great question. And I'm gonna reframe that. So there are things that I'm doing really, really well. And when I look back in my career, I can see how far I've come, and I feel gratitude and grace for the mistakes that I've made, and gratitude for how far I've come. Are there things that I'm working towards? 100%. Are there things that I want to do better in? Absolutely. And I'm more, instead of wishing, I'm more taking action to do that. So I will continue to take action towards the things that I want. And part of that is just like the regular maintenance of the gym. And if I can change a few things up about my day-to-day, whether that be the appearance of the gym, like right now we're painting the gym, so all those photos that you guys see of the gym is going to be completely outdated, and changing the flooring up of the gym, and then changing like little little amenities that we have. Maybe it's a new sauna, or it's a different piece of cardio equipment. So there's constantly things that I'll be adding, and just for the benefit of, one, our members, two, our staff, and then three, just for I've innate, and I think it's within us all, the innate just desire to get better, to optimize, to elevate, to not live the same 6 months over and over again and then die. That is a big.
No, 100%. Yeah.
I feel comfortable with.
Oh yeah, 100%. So right now you've got a very cool gym. You've had this space, you've been growing. Are you happy with where you are? Or what is the future of Arc Fitness in the way you see it? Like, do you want an even bigger space someday? Do you ever want to have 2 Arc Fitnesses? Is it always going to be just one Adam Cayce gym? Or are there going to be multiples? Or just going to be ever like a big Arc Fitness? Or are you happy with the small gym?
I'm happy, and I want for more. And so if you would have told me 7-8 years ago that I would have a gym, I would have expanded to 5,000-6,000 square feet, and I'll be making more money or making the amount of money that I'm making today, and impacting, more importantly, the lives that I'm impacting, I would have laughed, right? I would have said, "There's no way. There's no way." If you would have told me even 8 years ago that I would be a professional bodybuilder, I'd be like, "No, there's no way." Here we are. And so for me to say, this is exactly what I'm going to be doing, this is exactly the growth, projected growth, I think that would be. I'm doing a lot of soul searching when it comes to this, like projecting where I want to be and what I want my future to look like, and manifesting that. And so what I ultimately see is just what I'm doing at a grander scale. And what that looks like is just my goal in life, changing as many lives as I possibly can. So
yeah, and I think with what you do, and I've talked to a lot of gym owners about this, is like, I think that growth is always exciting, but you have to like do it in a slow pace and do it like when you're ready and when it's like the right opportunity, because too much growth too fast can really mess up or set back what you've already accomplished. I think that, like, I want to kind of pull back just a second and go back to the vibe of the gym. So I think we touched on it, but I don't think that like we really fully got into it, because I don't usually go back to something and they're like that, but the reason I want to go back is because I just want people to understand that like you just created something that I haven't come across in a vibe. Like, and I think that like having listened to you on this podcast, maybe people will get this, because you're a very easygoing, laid back, but yet at the same time, very like methodical and like person. And I feel like that, like I've been to like high level bougie gyms that like you walk in, you're like, oh, this is really nice, but you're afraid of sweating there. Like you have this really nice like gym with cool lights and cool artwork that isn't like your standard, like stereotypical, like, oh, look, here's, and don't get me wrong, I love the big giant muscly gorillas on the wall, but like that's not what your gym is. It's more like higher level thinking, even in the artwork. But at the same time, you've somehow taken that and created a space that you go, you know what, I'm going to be able to sweat in here. I'm going to be able to get this shit done. And I think that's so unique that I've been over 300 gyms and I haven't come across that in any other gym. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like, I think it's unique and I think it's super cool. And I just wanted to like touch on it again.
I want to say thank you. Thank you for that affirmation, because it shows me that I'm moving in the right direction. It shows me that I'm doing exactly what I set out to do, and that my daily efforts are are coming to fruition. So I get that a lot. I get that a lot from members that we have that move on. Maybe they move out of state and they come back, and it's just like they're overwhelmingly positive about how rare this gym is. They've done other gyms, they've been in different programs, and they say time and time again that I've never been to a gym like this. And on paper, it's just a gym. It's the ideology and the effort and the energy that's in the gym, and that stems from staff. It stems from belief. It stems from what I put as the most important thing. And the most important thing is not collecting a paycheck. The most important thing is not having all the coolest equipment or having the coolest artwork. It is about the people that walk in through the door. And when you have people collectively wanting to get better and putting forth the effort it takes to move the needle forward and collaborate on in the shit, like working out should be challenging. You should be challenging yourself. It's not like a walk in the park. It's not sitting on the couch watching Netflix. But when you do it and you do it with somebody else, it creates a bond, unlike any other bond. And which is why I'm glad that we got to go on a workout, man. You got a little, like a brief taste of what ARC is like, and the words that you're speaking are definitely affirming. And again, I appreciate that, but it's just a taste of what we offer. And I think that in those walls, the energy that emulates from our staff and trickles down to our members is extremely special, because we root that in how much we care about the people that walk through the doors.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a unique and cool space, and I've been to a lot of gyms, and like there aren't a lot of unique ones that I find anymore, if that makes sense.
In and of itself, like even outside of that, the history of the building, it was in the late 1800s. It was built, and it was a pharmacy. Like it was called Panzer's Pharmacies. And it's had many different names through the years, but that's what it was originally. And through as it's developed, I've understood its history, and I love the history of buildings, and I love the brick, and I love the artwork on the ceiling. And like that's why that I've acquired some of the pieces that I've put into the gym, and I've like handpicked more than just like equipment that's really cool and biomechanically friendly. I've got a pharmacy counter, like an old school from the late 1800s that I pulled out of Centerville, Ohio, from a Masonic lodge. So I've got like multiple pieces around the gym that speak to the history of the gym, the old wood and the exposed brick and like the tin ceiling, like all these specific parts to the gym, and like the hanging Edison bulbs. Like there's so many parts of it that I want to, if it's a place that I walk into daily, I want it to look beautiful. I want to be happy with what I'm seeing. And I think that speaks for itself when it comes to how the gym looks and how the gym is going to look in the next year. When you come back next year, man, we're going to go on a back workout, and we're going to crush it. And I'm sure
Jesse will have been done by then.
Jesse will be done by then. Yeah.
So for anybody who Jesse had started painting, Grizzly Bear had started painting the gym when I was there, but he had quite a few more pieces to do before it was done. So one of the things we always ask gym owners before we finish up, and I appreciate your time, is now that you've had the gym for 7 years and you've grown it multiple times, you've been through, I'm sure, lots of successes and lots of challenges. Is there any piece of advice or a couple pieces of advice or something that you would give to someone who's thinking about opening a gym?
The first thing that popped in my head is never stop learning. Never stop learning. Do not live the same 6 months over and over again. I've said that twice now, but it's so true. And how you get to not live the same 6 months is by learning new information. And the interesting thing about the gym and personal training and helping other people is a lifelong self journey of growth and development. And I've poured so hundreds of thousands of dollars into my education, into my body. And it's something that I really don't think that we can speak clearly on until we've gone through it. So how can I expect you to change if I haven't changed, if I don't lead by example? And so when you're in the art of and if you just want to run a gym that's Planet Fitness has got a great model. But if you want to be a gym that actually makes impact instead of just collects money and hopes that people don't come in, if you want to be a gym that actually makes impact, constantly learn. Put yourself in rooms where you're the dumbest so that you can then learn from people that have done it before. Whether that's, if you want to go the bodybuilding route, go the bodybuilding route. If you want to go the entrepreneur route, still hire mentors, hire coaches, hire people that have been there, done that, take from that, and continue investing in yourself.
That's great advice.
And put others first.
Oh, even better advice.
Put your fucking members on, message your members, talk to your members, hang out with your members, build a community of people that you enjoy coming to see.
Oh, yeah. And that's what keeps people in your gym.
Yeah.
Less people don't keep
our churn, the amount of plants that we have at the beginning of the month versus the end of the month is very low.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not, people don't stay at gyms like yours because of not that you don't have great equipment, but it's not the equipment, it's the vibe and the community, and that's why they stay.
Yeah, we don't have a pool, we don't have a racquetball court, we don't have a basketball court.
But you have massage chairs, anyone needs a massage chair.
I got some massage guns for our recovery center. But it's
the whole let's take up a bunch of space for massage chairs just drives me crazy. But anyways.
We should get some massage chairs. No, the next thing that I want to build a sauna, and so that'll be coming up in this next 365.
Nice. So I appreciate you coming on, Adam. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing what's next.
It's been an honor, man. I really appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you again, and thanks for allowing me to spread the word.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more great content.